Hello everyone and welcome to our YouTube channel. One day more, one more video in English. Today to talk about national teams. We're going to talk about the game between Poland and the Netherlands. You guys have asked many of you to do more videos in English, so we're gonna try to do this. And yeah, we're going to talk about the game that ended up 1-1, a game for the World Cup qualifiers 2026. And yeah, especially I wanted to talk about these two teams because when I was in Finland, I played there 3 years. I went for holidays and I could watch Finland against these two teams, against Poland and against the Netherlands. So I have been following them during the group stage. And yeah, today I would like to talk about them, about Poland and the Netherlands. The Poland that they just got a new coach. They just play 5 games under Jan Urban. And yeah, I think it's an interesting team to talk about. And obviously the Netherlands under Ronald Koeman that they have many good players. I think we are in front of one of the best teams for the Netherlands. I think they have world-class players like Van Dijk, like Gravenberch, Frenkie de Jong, also in a great moment. So yeah, it was a very interesting game to watch. Let's talk a bit about the lineups. First, we need to also say that the Netherlands already in the World Cup, as we say, first with 20 points in their group, and Poland is second with 17 points. After that is Finland, who didn't qualify with 10 points for the World Cup. And yeah, talking about Poland, we can see that they line up in a 5-4-1. They're set up in a 5-4-1 with Gravara in the goal, the goalkeeper from Wolfsburg, with Mati Cash in the right back from Aston Villa. You probably all know him. In the back, 3 centre backs. Kujor in the left centre back position. Right now he's in Porto. Kedziora, the middle centre back, and Ziolkowski, who is a young prospect from Roma, 20 years old, interesting. Skoras, the left wing back, who is more of a left winger, wrong-footed winger profile, who is in Belgium, in Gante. 2 midfielders, Zielinski and Szymanski. Szymanski came injured after a few minutes, but Zielinski we all know them from Inter. And 2 wingers, Zalewski, Kaminski, very dynamic players. We will talk later about them. Zalewski from last season, he was in Inter Milan, now he's in Atalanta. Kaminski is in Köln in Bundesliga, and Robert Lewandowski, of course, the Football Club Barcelona striker. We'll dive a bit more to talk a bit more about Poland later, but yeah, let's go to talk about the Netherlands. Verbruggen in goal, Timber as a centre back, who in Arsenal is playing more as a right back. Van Dijk, Gertruida, and Van de Ven as fullbacks. Van de Ven in Netherlands national team is playing more as a left back. That which is interesting. We will talk about Van de Ven also later. In the midfield, Frenkie de Jong more as a 6, Gravenberch more as a number 8, let's say like this, and Justin Kluivert more as a 10. Malen, the Aston Villa player, in the right wing. Cody Gakpo, Liverpool player, in the left, and Memphis Depay in front.
El fútbol está cambiando y nosotros queremos que formes parte de este cambio. En The Game Changer estamos construyendo la comunidad de reflexión más completa sobre el juego. Análisis, entrevistas, mentorías y acceso directo a profesionales. Si eres entrenador, analista, jugador o un apasionado, sin dudas este es tu lugar. Únete ahora a thegamechanger.es y usa el código TGCLAB10 para tu descuento exclusivo. No te quedes fuera y únete a The Game Changer.
So let's watch first a bit the position of many of players from the Poland national team and from the Netherlands. Let's start from Poland. We can see here the 3 centre backs, number 14 Kujor, number 4, and number 5, that they are more central, as we can see. Number 5 is a bit more up because when they build up in a 4-2-4, that we will talk about that later. And Cash is the wing back pushing high, almost as a winger in deeper build up. Then in the left, we talk about Skoras, who is more as a wing back in this case with Poland. But he also, when they are attacking, he push higher up also. And then a very dynamic midfielder as with Zalewski, with Zielinski. You can see here also Robert Lewandowski in a deeper position that we will talk about him later. And Kaminski, who is more of a player who attacks the space in behind all the time and can compensate these movements from Lewandowski. And when we talk about the Netherlands, we can see here the positioning of Gertruida, number 2, and Van de Ven, number 15, who are more like a narrow fullbacks. So when the Netherlands build up in a 2-3-5, later we'll see a photo of this. And then we can see Frenkie de Jong position. We can see Gravenberch a bit higher up. Also Justin Kluivert, in this case, he's in a bit deeper position. I don't know if it's more related to the way they press, but yeah, whatever. Justin Kluivert in this case is a bit lower, but during the game we saw him in higher position. And then we can see the white wingers with Malen and Cody Gakpo, and Memphis Depay also, who is a player who also likes to come deep and ask to combine with his teammates. Let's watch the Poland's intentions offensively, because they are interesting. Something to say about Poland is that I think they have what Jan Urban has done makes sense for the kind of players they have. I think they have 3-4 players like Skoras, Zalewski, Zielinski, and Kaminski, number 19, number 21, number 10, and number 13, who are very dynamic, very versatile. They are fast players that they can dribble, they are fast to launch the counter-attacks and these transitions for Poland, and they can compensate Lewandowski's movements. I think they are also, many of them, Zalewski, Kaminski, Skoras, they are in a young age, 25, 23, 23. Zielinski, of course, is a bit more older. Mati Cash is in a great moment in Aston Villa. And yeah, also in the defense, they have Bednarek that didn't play in these last games, but who is the centre-back together with Kiwior in Porto. We already spoke about Ziolkowski, who is a nice prospect from Roma, who is only 20 years old. And in goal also they have possibilities with Grabara, Wolfsburg goalkeeper, starting goalkeeper, and then Skoruka, we all know him from Bologna, who is also an option in goal. So yeah, what Jan Urban has done to already, we remember that Lewandowski with the former national team coach, they had some problems. So now Lewandowski is back to the national team, and he's playing in a role that we all know. We have seen him in Football Club Barcelona, how he likes to at times to come deep, also to combine, but of course you need players around him that can compensate this kind of movements. Rafinha does it well in Barca, and yeah, I think Jan Urban surrounded Lewandowski from versatile players, dynamic players like Zalewski, Kaminski, Zielinski, Skoras, that they can compensate this kind of movements, and also the way they defend in this 5-4-1. Lewandowski doesn't need to press a lot, so that also helps him. And yeah, we will start talking about the deep build-up. As I say, they do this kind of 4-2-4, as we can see here. Mati Cash, one of the wingbacks, is the one pushing higher. So we can see Skoras, in this case, the other wingback is a bit more lower. And they are a team that they try to play short, but if we can see quite aggressive high press from the Netherlands, they always have this solution to play long and look for Lewandowski. As I say, they have fast players in front, like Kaminski, Zalewski, even Mati Cash, players that they can attack the space. And they have an opportunity here with Lewandowski, who's a great player in this kind of hold-up play, even against Van Dijk. because we can see here what the Netherlands did. They dropped De Jong, their number 6, into the defensive line, and it was Van Dijk who was with Lewandowski. I guess for these kind of duels, Van Dijk is better maybe than Timber or than De Jong, of course. But even that, Lewandowski create a lot of problems to Van Dijk. So Poland was they were able to progress many times through Lewandowski. So let's watch another interesting thing from the way Poland was playing, because Poland when they were attacking, they were more in a 3-2-5. We can see here the 3 center backs, the 2 midfielders, and the 2 wing backs, scorers in the left, Cash in the right. We can see here Kaminski, number 13, how he's attacking the space between Van de Ven and Van Dijk. We can see Zalewski between the lines, Lewandowski in front, and we can see how they rely a lot in this kind of diagonals to switch play, especially against back 4. No, because they put 5 in the last line against the Netherlands back 4. I think that I need to say that I didn't like how the Netherlands defend. I think they are a team that when they press high, they are better, but when they have to drop into a mid-low block, they have more problems. Some problems that maybe in a group with teams like Malta, Andorra, Finland, maybe they didn't get that much exposed, but Poland exposed them at times. And we can see here how they did this kind of situation a lot of times, with Kaminski running between Van Dijk and Van de Ven. Van de Ven is dragged in. He needs to follow Kaminski, and then there's space for Cash in the side. I put another example here, very similar. We can see the 3-2-5 again. In this case, Lewandowski is in the right pocket attacking, but the Ven needs to follow him, and I think it's Zielinski again who plays to Mati Cash. There are a few examples of this, because I have more. I didn't put it here, but yeah, it's something that Poland look to in their positional attack. That's why I think Poland, they are an interesting team also with the ball in more positional attacks, because I think their main strength, they are the transition. So against big teams, if they classify for the World Cup, can be an interesting team to follow. And yeah, I want to show you also about Lewandowski's deep role. So in build-up, what Poland did many times is they allowed Lewandowski to come as deep as he wanted, and then, as I say, they had a very dynamic midfielders that they exchange position. We can see here the wing backs pushing up, scorers and Cash, and the players inside, Zalewski, Kaminski. Kaminski is more of a player to attack the spacing behind, but he can also exchange position with his teammates. Zielinski, Zalewski, a lot of the Italian players, they are used a bit to this in Serie A, to exchange a lot of positions, to move a lot, to be very dynamic players. And yeah, this is something that created also problems to the Netherlands. And as I say, Poland defended in a mid-low block in a 5-4-1. We can see here a clear 5-4-1 for Poland, with Lewandowski in a role that doesn't demand him to press much. And we can see here how the Netherlands played with the 2 center-backs, this 2-3-5, the 2 fullbacks, quite narrow, Gertrude and Van de Ven, and then Frenkie de Jong in this defensive midfielder, center midfielder position. Then the 2 advanced midfielder, Kluivert and Gravenberch, a bit higher up, as we spoke about, the striker Memphis Depay, and the wingers Malen and Cody Gakpo. And then it was very difficult for the Netherlands to be able to attack this low block from Poland in this 5-4-1 formation that many teams are using nowadays. They have center backs that they are good in defending the box. We spoke about Kiwior. Also, we need to take in consideration Bednarek, that is a good player for for this, and something that Poland looked to do during this game was to wait until they got the ball and then create problems in transition with fast players, like, as I say, with Zalewski, with Zielinski, with Kaminski, with Skoras. So that was something that Poland look to do. We can see now, I will put you the example, it's Poland's goal. It's clearly a transition. Let's take a look. We can see how Poland recovered the ball. This is Kaminski. Take a look at Lewandowski, how he comes deep to receive the ball. The center backs of the Netherlands, Timber and Van Dijk, they are a bit hesitating what to do, to follow him, to not. And finally, Timber steps, and that creates space for Kaminski. As I say, is a very interesting player, only 23 years old, from Köln in Bundesliga. He has already scored some goals with his team, and we can see here a clear counterattack, very easy counterattack. Let's watch again before we can see how he's a fast player. He can dribble. Same with Zalewski, same with Zielinski. They are this type of players, and how they compensate Lewandowski's movement and end up in a goal for Poland. So yeah, a quite simple situation, a fast counterattack between Lewandowski and Kaminski, but they created a lot of problems to the Netherlands, only with this, only staying compact in this mid-low block, this 5-4-1, and then looking for transitions with fast players, as we spoke about. But now let's go back to the Netherlands to talk about them, because I think they had problems to attack this 5-4-1 from Poland. They actually they had the control of the ball during many moments with this 2-3-5, but they miss maybe this kind of player between the lines that can give them something different. I don't think Justin Kluivert in this kind of context is the perfect player for this number 10 role. I think in Bournemouth, what I have seen from him is better with more space, open spaces. We know how Bournemouth plays. Of course, he's a player that can attack space in behind, who can give you great energy also to press. But I don't see him as this player who can maybe receive between the line and give you this quality in the last third that maybe you need to combine. And yeah, I think Memphis Depay was a bit better on this. He's a player who can receive under pressure and combine in tight spaces. And yeah, Gravenberch, we saw him alternating a bit more between midfield and higher up. But yeah, I have my doubts about how will the Netherlands play. Probably De Jong, Gravenberch, but there's also the option for Reinders from Manchester City. And yeah, I also miss, in this kind of games, I miss a lot Joshua Zirkzee, who is one of my favorite players. And I think in this kind of context, he could help a lot also, because he's a fantastic player to combine, to play in tight spaces like the game that Poland was looking for. And yeah, I think something interesting that the Netherlands did, but they didn't do it so much. It's true that in this structure, this 2+3 with the fullbacks narrow, and also with fast players like Van de Ven, you are protected in case of transition. But even though I think Poland created a lot of problems in transition to the Netherlands, and something that I missed a bit from the Netherlands, and I think when they did it well and they created problems, is the pass and move from the fullbacks. So we can see here again the position of Gertruida and the position of Van de Ven, that how Gertruida passed to the winger and then attacks the space in behind between the left center back and the wing back. They created problems like this because this is a dynamic advantage that is difficult to defend, because we can see that Gertrude is just 1 meter from their direct opponent, and then he will pass and then he will move, and this is a difficult situation to defend. We can see the 3 center backs more focused in box defending, and we can see how this situation ends up with a clear chance for the Netherlands, a clear chance for Gertrude to cross to, for example, to the second post or give a pass back here to Kluivert. And yeah, I think during the game, and that's how the Netherlands goal came in the second half. They rely a lot on 1v1 situation from Gakpo and from Malen, and the goal came like this in a situation that Poland couldn't help. I think it was Matikash against Cody Gakpo, and then it ends up in a cross and the goal. But in general, I think that the Netherlands didn't find these options inside that we spoke about, but outside they rely too much in the wingers. And I think this option of pass and move from the fullback was a great idea to apply. And in the left is the same. Here we can see Van de Ven passing wide, I think it's to Cody Gakpo, if I'm not wrong, and then running in the space in behind between center back and wing back, with the 3 center backs more focused in the box. And yeah, I think when I see Van de Ven, I see the perfect player for pass and move situation. I think in Tottenham he plays more in a line of 4, but in this kind of modern football we can see him joining the attacks sometimes, even in Tottenham playing with a line of 4, how he intercepts and then joins the attacks. He can dribble, he's a fast player, and in this kind of dynamic advantages of these pass and move situations, I think he's the perfect player to do this. Of course, you need to balance this kind of movements, but we can see here, I think the Netherlands is well protected with the 2 center backs plus De Jong and Gertrude. You can even, I don't know, if you want to be a bit more protect a bit more your transition, you can still use 1 midfielder here out wide to protect this in a 2+3. But I think this is something that the Netherlands can add to the game model, and we can see here another example how Van de Ven ends up again in a clear situation to cross. It's true that the Netherlands don't have many players in the box, and it's what I said, that it's difficult to score against Poland, because we can see here how many players they have inside the box, and they still have this kind of players' energy to then transition and create problems in transition moments. But yeah, overall, that was a bit the game between Poland and the Netherlands. As I say, I think Poland is an interesting team to follow. I would like to see him qualifying for the World Cup. Only 5 games under Jan Urban, but we can see already many interesting things, how they surrounded Lewandowski around fast players for this kind of transitions, how they defend in this mid-low block, but they can also they have interesting positional attacks, trying to switch play for the wingbacks. They push both wingbacks up. They exchange a lot of positions in midfield between Lewandowski, between the 2 number 10s like Zalewski or Kaminski. Same for Zielinski, is also a player who rotates, who can exchange position, who is more. We have seen him in Inter play more also in this 5-3-2, more as an advanced midfielder also. So he's a number 8, but a kind of profile that can play higher up. And now we have 3 center backs that they are good in defending inside the box, 2 reliable goalkeepers, and the 2 wing backs, Matikash, who is in a great moment in Aston Villa, scores in the left, who is also an interesting player, more of a winger profile, but that can give you also some crossing options, some 1v1 situations in the left. In positional attacks, they also look a lot for crosses from the Matikash or from scorers. Lewandowski adds this kind of box presence that you need, and that is a important part of their game, especially if you have a player like Lewandowski. And at the same time, we spoke about the deep build-up, who they have solutions also and they try to combine short, but they have the solution to play long and find these kind of situations for Lewandowski to hold up play, but they are also can create this kind of artificial transitions to attack the spacing behind against teams that press high, like the Netherlands. So yeah, it's an interesting team to follow. Many of these players are quite young. We spoke about Kaminski, about Zalewski, about Skoras. They are players that they are 25, 23, 21. So it's interesting to see the evolution of this kind of players during next years. We spoke about also Kiwior and Bednarek being the two center backs in Porto, which are first in the table in the Portuguese league, and they are doing great. And yeah, we'll see. We'll see if they end up qualifying for the World Cup. But I think Poland can be excited about the future of their national team. And about the Netherlands, honestly, I didn't like them so much in that game. Obviously, they have great players. I like the idea of playing with the narrow fullbacks in a kind of tournament like a World Cup. It's important to be protected for transitions, but I think they lack something in the last third. They rely a lot on the wingers, Malen and Gakpo 1v1 situations, crossing from there, but they also don't have like when they play with Memphis Depay, maybe they don't have that much box presence that they could have with another type of player. They were missing something between the lines, as we spoke about. I think I missed a bit also this idea from the fullbacks to join a bit more the attacks to underlap inside, and I think they can do it. But obviously, they have a great team. They have so many options, top world-class players like Van de Ven, like Van Dijk, like Frankie de Jong, Gravenberch, who are also in good moment. Like, for example, like Frankie de Jong. It's true that Van Dijk and Gravenberch, maybe they are not in the best shape now. Let's see how they end up for the World Cup. But yeah, we will see how the Netherlands evolve during next months. But obviously, they have a lot of quality, and it's an interesting team to continue following their evolution. So that's all. A bit of some information about this game, about these two national teams, and yeah, we'll be speaking more about them during next month. I will try to watch. I will try to analyze many of the national teams that they will end up in the World Cup. I already have started to watch some teams, for example, Poland and the Netherlands. And yeah, I think I could bring you in Twitter and also in YouTube more analysis like this. And yeah, I would like to remind you to join our community. We are already more than 100 coaches, fans, analysts around the world that they are joining our community. We upload their clips in Tactical Camp about modern trends, about set piece, individual aspects, collective aspects. We also share once a week for continuous learning games in Tactical Camp from the best leagues in the world. We also have a WhatsApp debate group where we talk about football, where we talk about new ideas, new suggestions. And yeah, many more things we are offering in our platform. We also now we have started to do interviews to elite coaches. For example, last week we had Jesus Perez, who is the assistant coach of the US national team, and before he was in Tottenham, Chelsea, and clubs and PSG. Sorry, and he shared many insights from the elite football, who I think are very interesting, and the complete chat we had with Jesus is in our platform, 2 hours. We left also, I think, 20-30 minutes in our YouTube channel. And yeah, I hope you can subscribe also to our YouTube channel, like this video if you like it. And if you want us to talk about any teams, any clubs, please let me know. I will try to take a look at them and bring you the video to YouTube. And yes, it has been a pleasure. Keep in touch. See you soon.